The Book of Enoch. Should Christians read this ancient book, or will it pull you away from God? This is the book that early Christians once quoted, a book that describes angels falling from heaven, giants walking the earth, and a man named Enoch being taken into realms no human had ever seen. Some churches banned it, some preserved it, many never knew it existed. But once you hear what's actually inside this book, you might want to read it for yourself. The Book of Enoch begins like thunder. Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, is shown a vision of God descending from heaven, surrounded by millions of angels, and the mountains melting like wax. And God speaks, not softly, but with a warning for all creation. He says he is about to judge the wicked, the corrupt, and those who have turned the world upside down. This opening scene sets the tone. Enoch isn't just a storyteller. He's a messenger walking between heaven and earth. Then comes the part of the book that people find unforgettable. Enoch describes a group of angels called the Watchers, beings who were supposed to guide and protect humanity, but instead, they fall. They descend to earth. They form a pact, an oath, to take human wives, and the book vividly describes the consequences. Children born from this union become giants, towering beings who consume everything in their path until the earth cries out for help. The Watchers then teach humanity things never meant to be taught: weapon making, sorcery, forbidden knowledge, astrology, and secrets of the heavens. Again, this is what the book actually says. The world spirals into violence, corruption, and chaos, and God responds. In the chaos, God chooses one man to confront the fallen angels. Not a warrior, not a king, a humble man, Enoch. Enoch becomes the mediator between heaven and the Watchers. They beg him to plead for their forgiveness. Enoch prays and receives an answer that shakes even the angels. God denies their request. Enoch writes down the judgment. The fallen angels will be bound. Their children, the giants, will be destroyed. A flood will cleanse the earth. This is the earliest interpretation of the story that later appears briefly in Genesis 6. Then the book takes a turn, from tragedy to breathtaking mystery. Enoch is carried by angels through multiple heavens. He sees crystal walls glowing like fire, rivers of flame, the tree of life, storage rooms for the wind, snow, and lightning, and the throne of God shining brighter than the sun. The descriptions here are vivid and surreal, like reading the book of Revelation centuries before Revelation was written. Enoch sees how the seasons work, how the stars move, and how every part of creation is guided with order and purpose. This is why scholars say the Book of Enoch gives us a window into how ancient Jews viewed the universe. One of the most fascinating parts of the Book of Enoch is the repeated introduction of a figure called the Son of Man, the Chosen One, the Anointed One. He is described as a righteous, eternal being who will sit on God's throne, judge kings and nations, and bring justice to the oppressed. These exact titles appear later in the New Testament, which is why historians pay very close attention to Enoch's influence on early Christian thought. Again, this is not speculation. These titles are written clearly in the manuscript. In another section, Enoch sees dream visions, representing the entire history of Israel using symbols. Sheep, representing God's people, wild beasts, representing enemies, stars representing angels, towers, mountains, rivers, each carrying meaning. He sees the flood, the exodus, the exile, and finally, a future age of peace and restoration. These symbolic visions show how ancient writers expressed prophecy without using direct historical names. Here's the factual truth. The Book of Enoch is not part of most Christian Bibles, but it is considered scripture in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. It was widely read in early Christianity and even quoted in the Book of Jude. Is it inspired scripture? Different Christians answer that differently. But is it a powerful, fascinating ancient book that deepens your understanding of biblical history? Absolutely. If anything in this video intrigued you, you may want to read it for yourself, because the Book of Enoch is unlike anything else from the ancient world.